Hi guys, welcome to my fitness vlog. I don't know how long I can be because there's a guy watching me who's obviously they've got building work going on or something, but there's a truck parked there and he's standing there looking at me, so I don't know if he wants to be coming in here or they're just waiting for me to leave so they can get on with it. I don't know. So yeah, bit of a strange one. Anyway, so today is the first week, or this week is the ultimate thing in terms of knowing whether or not I have to pay to go private for my surgery or I can rely on the NHS. Most likely I'll have to go private. So I've started looking at surgeons already just to try and figure out how much it's going to cost me and stuff and where I can actually go. The ideal one is for me to be able to go to Italy and find a package, because apparently you can do a lot of packages where you sort of go on holiday to Europe, pay to have the surgery, and then just relax in recover in Europe for a couple of weeks. So it'd be ideal if I could get an Italian one, but I haven't seen any packages for Italy. But I know Italy is quite good apparently for plastic surgery, and it's cheaper than the UK. So that's the idea I'm throwing around at the moment. But yeah, until I have the conversation today with the physician, I don't know where I stand, but I think it's like 90% chance that, yeah, it's going to be, or I should say 99.9% chance that I'm having to go private. It's more just talking it through with him in terms of him just turning around and saying, well, sorry, it's an aesthetic, it's a cosmetic thing, blah, blah, blah. So I did my run today for the first time in ages. I felt so tired this morning. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like physically, mentally, everything. I'm just so tired. And I don't know why. I got a decent amount of sleep. Bubs only woke up once during the night coughing, and then he went back off. And yeah, I've just really struggled to be awake this morning. My legs were very heavy and very tired running around as well, I think because of the weighted lunges and squats I did yesterday. And also my toes, like the toes next to my big toes are the ones that are giving me jip at the moment, but they always do because they're always the nails that fall off. So because they're feeling a bit bruised, I think I tense up my feet, so I run a bit weird, and then that sends the stiffness up my legs, so it makes my legs even more tired. So just not doing many favors this morning. But I did my 4K, but it was at like 29 minutes 40, so it's not great. I did a lot of walking, but not bad for my first time back in a while. So, but anyway, I want to head back so I can have my shower and stuff, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing today, to be honest, because Bubs is going to be at nursery and I've done all my editing, so I'll find something to do. But yeah, but I need to head back anyway. So hopefully, well, if anything, I'll speak to you probably tomorrow after the phone call today. So I'll let you know how it goes. But anyway, now I've got to try and get out because another truck has turned up. So let's see what happens here. Anyway, I'll speak to you later. Hi guys, so welcome to Thursday. Hopefully you can hear me over the washing machine. As you can tell, I've not gone on my run. The last few days, my hay fever has been atrocious, and I just really feel, yeah, it's just knocked me for six. And I woke up this morning feeling absolutely exhausted, not being able to breathe, really itchy eyes, and I was kind of like, I'm just gonna be making it worse if I go running out in it. So yeah, I decided to have a lazy morning this morning. But I don't feel too bad about it on a Thursday, because obviously I've got pole tonight as well. So yeah, there's not too much guilt there. Also, I have been incredibly good this week in terms of no snacks, no treats. My water has been pretty much on point. I've been drinking all the water, so that's good. I've been logging everything on my Fitness Pal just to try and make myself sort of feel extra good about keeping, like, staying good and stuff. But yeah, so anyway, the update I had for today was that obviously I was supposed to have had that call on Tuesday. Waited till I think it was meant to be 2 o'clock. Obviously, me with phone calls, I get super anxious. I hate having phone calls. Better off speaking like face to face, but phone calls, I just can't. I don't know what it is about them, I just can't do them. So got myself all worked up. Phone call never happened. I had a missed call at like 5:30 that evening, and a voicemail from the surgeon, or from the physician, to say, sorry, I missed your appointment. Tried to phone you now, obviously you're not around. So I will call again tomorrow at around 12 to 12:30. So I'll give you a call then. So yesterday, waited 12:30 again, got myself all anxious and worked up about it. Again, no call. Didn't even get a call yesterday evening either. No call at like 5:30 to say, sorry, I didn't do the call or whatever. So either he just can't be bothered, or I don't know. But the thing is, it's kind of like, it's just going to be a formality. I don't even know if I really want the call, like I said, because it's just going to be him telling me, like, no matter what you say, you can't, like, we're not going to give you the funding, so you have to do it yourself. So yeah, it's just one of those really shitty things. So currently, just looking at surgeons. I've actually found one because I'm tempted to look at having the surgery in Italy, because where we do slow travel anyway, hence like us going to Greece for a month, we also do Italy for a month. Sorry, I had to turn off my chicken, and also I had a sneezing fit. So yeah, so considering we go to Italy for a month and Greece for a month at a time, I was like, if we made it that I got my surgery at the beginning of our holiday, like our Italy holiday, I would actually be sort of, I could have then at least 3 weeks to recover, which is a good amount of time for a tummy tuck and muscle repair surgery, as long as everything goes okay. So I'm kind of like apprehensive about the whole thing in terms of like, what if it doesn't go well? What if something happens and the surgery goes bad and then I'm stuck in Italy? Also, it's a whole thing of like, would my mum, because obviously my mum has offered to come over and help with bubs and stuff. Would it be worth just looking for someone in the UK, so at least I'm home? So yeah, that's my current thing. Yeah, so now the whole thing officially is I've just, got to start from scratch and just look up UK surgeons, I guess. I found one in Italy. He's based in Rome, and I've had a few people recommend him to me. And again, the whole reason I say about getting it done in Italy is because Europe, in terms of plastic surgery, is meant to be a hell of a lot cheaper than the UK. So yeah, so that's another reason why I was thinking of Italy as well. But then also you have to factor in the fact of like accommodation and stuff. So, but yeah, so that's the plan. So yeah, I'll just keep you guys updated on what I find. But I've been apprehensive looking at UK surgeons. But yeah, I'm gonna start, I think, looking today. So I'll let you guys know how I get on. If I find anyone that I get in touch with, like to see if I can get a consultation, because I think that's my main thing, is getting a consultation. But I think currently at my current weight, I do think they're going to turn around and say lose a bit of weight first and then come back to us. So I think that's what I've got to prioritise now, is just losing as much weight as I can, so I can have the operation as soon as I can. Because I really wanted to get this done before Bubs finishes nursery at the end of August, but that's definitely not going to happen. So yeah, we just have to see what happens. But anyway, I'll probably speak to you guys. I'll try and get some footage from Pole tonight, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, other than that, it'll probably be our weigh-in on Saturday. So, but I'll see you whenever. And I'll let you know how my search for a plastic surgeon gets going. So I'll speak to you later. Hi guys, welcome to Saturday. So, as you could probably tell from the previous clip, I am quite happy with my weight loss this week, nearly 2.5 pounds. It's not bad. So yeah, very happy with that. Obviously I've still got a long way to go to lose all the weight that I want to lose. I'm still in like the 180 pound mark. At least once I get out of that, I think I'll feel a little bit better about my current weight situation. Because I don't know if I've said, but I've had like this really bad sort of just constant like stiffness and pain in my left Achilles heel. Like the tendon just feels super, just really sore. Like I can't walk in it. It's funny, when I run, it doesn't bother me, but when I'm walking, it really, really hurts, and I don't know what I've done to it. But I do have a feeling that it probably doesn't help the fact that I'm overweight, and it's probably like making it worse because I'm putting obviously a lot more pressure on it by being as heavy as I am. So yeah, there's another reason to try and lose weight. But yes, that's that. A good week, but still a long way to go. So hopefully I can keep it up. I have been very good this week. Like my water intake has been top notch. I've been having both refills of my water and like making a point of drinking it. So even if I like go out and don't take the bottle with me, I'll make sure I catch up when I get home. Yeah, to make sure that I'm constantly drinking my water, and I do think that's really helped. I've not snacked at all during the week. If I felt like I need something extra to keep me going, like at the end of the night or whatever, then I give myself a protein bar. I have like the chocolate bars, like the protein ones. Unfortunately, our supermarket has stopped selling them. I don't know if they're gonna get back to selling them, or if that's it now, they're not going to sell them anymore, so I'm going to have to look for alternatives. But I'm trying not to have them every day because I feel like that kind of is my downfall with my sugar cravings. I feel like if I get into a routine of having a protein bar every day, then I get into the routine of having a sweet every day. And then if my protein bars ain't available, then I'll find something else to have sweet, like chocolate or biscuits or whatever. Obviously, over the weekend we have our like cookie pie thing, so that's fine. But I don't want to be going too overboard because obviously I don't want to then gain the weight that I've lost, sort of thing. So yeah, so during the week I'm trying to just limit the amount of sweets that I have to make it that then it doesn't just become then a sort of what's the word, like a landslide, I guess, of just me then just having a little bit more and then a little bit more until I'm just picking out on sweets every day. So I think this is the best way for me to do it, especially while I'm trying to lose as much weight as I can, as quickly as I can, to make sure I can like have the operation. So yeah, so that's the whole weight thing. That's like how my week's gone. I didn't go running on Thursday, as I said, because my hay fever has just really knocked me for 6 this week. Like it has been terrible. I woke up this morning feeling like the roughest I've felt for a long while. I'm starting to feel better, and I think that's one, because I haven't left the house yet, and 2, because I've taken an antihistamine. Bubs is really bad at the moment. Like last night we actually had to take him to A&E because he's been rubbing his eye so much that it's almost practically blistered. Like the white of the eye is actually really swollen. So yeah, we took him to A&E and they said it's just like a major, like severe irritation of the eye. So he's currently now on antibiotic ointment that we're having to like squeeze into his eye. And then when they get back from rugby this morning, we're going to go to the pharmacy and just pick him up. The doctor at the hospital gave us a list of things, like some sort of anti-hay fever, anti-allergy things for us to look for kids. But if they don't have what she's said, what she's listed, then we're just going to pick him up any sort of antihistamine, just to make sure he has something, because I think it's official now that he definitely has hay fever, or that he suffers from it. So, which sucks, because I really didn't want him to have to suffer, because it is the worst thing. Especially when you love being outside and you love sort of just being out in nature and everything, but then nature comes and kicks you in the arse and it makes you feel like absolute shit. So yeah, so we've got that to deal with at the moment. And his eyes, bless him, this morning, he looks so, like his eyes are really puffy and just really swollen, and I feel terrible for him. So hopefully, like the antibiotics will work really quickly. He's had 2 doses so far. And then, yeah, hopefully the antihistamines will help with the swelling. Now done washing up, I think we'll move. So we've changed location back to the office. So, other update, the poll class went really well. I didn't get any video footage because my usual polling partner wasn't in that day. And I have to say, I think it does affect me when she's not in terms of, because I'm by myself on the poll. I don't know, like, I don't feel as relaxed. I don't feel as sort of, like I can't just laugh off my mistakes. I just get really frustrated and really embarrassed with myself. And Thursday started off quite bad. I felt really defeated anyway because of everything that was going on with my stomach in terms of the NHS refusing my funding. So I just felt very defeated, and I was actually going to try and make an excuse to actually just leave the class early and go home because I just really weren't in the mood for it. But then my pole teacher, I think she could see me struggling because like basically she was showing them all these different moves that I just couldn't do, in terms of like, you start off with a move that I should be able to do at the level that I should be at, but I can't because of like my strength and just my general inability to do things. So she's saying, right, so we'll start off with this, and from this you can go into this, and like she'd be showing people these new moves, but I couldn't even do the first move to begin with. So I was getting really frustrated at myself for not being able to do that. And I think she could see that, and so she was like helping me with a lot of things. Like she was like, instead of just being like, oh well, just try, do the best you can, she was like, no, you're going to be able to, like, I know you can do this, so you can, like, so she was really pushing me, like, I know you can do a butterfly now, so do the butterfly and then we'll see where you can go from there. And she lifted me up when I got into the butterfly, like she pushed my bum up to get me higher up the pole so then I could do more. And then she was kind of like, right, now see if you can get upright from a butterfly. And I was like, I don't have the core strength. And she was like, I think you do, you wouldn't be able to get yourself upside down if you didn't have any core strength there. So she says, so you need to, like, just try. And so she was like holding me as like I was lifting myself up, and the fact that I was able to get some way up, not all the way up, but some way up. And like she said, she was like, see, you have more strength there than you give yourself credit for. So there was that. And then there was actually a point when by the end of the class, like we were doing, well, there was a move that she wanted us to try and do it from the floor. But when you normally do it, you do it from a layback. And I was like, well, I definitely can't do laybacks. I can do like a cross leg release, kind of, but I'm always too scared to let go of my foot. I'll post pictures of what they look like. Like, so a cross knee release is when you have your knee across, like you can hold your foot, like you have one leg straight. Obviously you're doing a sit up the pole, one leg straight, and you bend the other knee, and like obviously the pole is in that knee, and then you hold that foot, and then you lean back. So obviously that part, like the pole in that part of your knee, is helping you stay up the pole rather than just throwing yourself backwards. With a layback, it's basically your legs are straight but they're crossed over, so the pole, like it's both your knees holding you on the pole without like not making you fall forwards. And it's very much a mental sort of struggle with that one, because obviously you don't have that cross knee to feel like it's holding you on. You have to rely on like there being no sort of gap between your knees for you to be able to go backwards and not fall down. And it does take a lot. It takes a lot of people, even if they have the strength, it's just the mental block that's stopping them from doing it. And I'd never done it before because I'd always felt too scared, and I always felt like I didn't have the grip. But I asked my pole teacher to spot me this time round, and literally she didn't like put my knees together, because that's normally what they do. They hold your knees together so then you lay back. She didn't do that. She just held like her arms under my back just to make sure I didn't fall. And literally I lay back, and once I got into that position, I felt so secure in terms of where my legs were and everything. And I think both of us were like really shocked, and she was like, oh, okay, now do the iguana. And I was kind of like, I forgot what the iguana was. So then I just kind of like just slid down the pole. But I managed to do two in quick succession. And then I went to do a third, but the pain, like, because the pole had been pulling so much between my legs that I didn't have the energy then anymore. But she was like, oh my God, you did so well. So I left the class feeling completely the opposite to what I felt when I went in. Like, I felt like I had underestimated myself. I felt like there's like a possibility that I can do more. I think I've just been on like a slow sort of slope down lately with pole class, that I'm just useless, and there's no, like, I just can't do anything, and I'm kidding myself being in the intermediate class. But her pushing me that little bit more to like that, like on Thursday, just made me feel like, yeah, there is actually things I can do. I just need to really push myself more. I need to get into the habit of pushing myself more. So hopefully going forward, I will like push myself more, and I will be able to do like more things that I didn't think I would be able to do. Because doing that layback, like I said, even when I was doing pole 10 years ago, I wasn't able to do it. I've never been able to do it. So I'm really, really hoping it's given me that sort of knock of confidence that I need. Really hope anyway. So yes, poll was very positive, although unfortunately I don't have any video to show you. Hopefully next week I might be able to get some if if my friend is back, but we'll see. But the other update I wanted to give you guys is regarding stomach surgery. So obviously when I spoke to you, I can't remember, when did I speak to you? Was it Wednesday or Thursday? I can't remember. I think it was Thursday, wasn't it? I hadn't heard from like the original physician who had done my referral. But then on Thursday around like 4:30, I think it was, he called me and he was so nice. He was just so full of apologies, bless him. And he was just like I think he was basically getting to the point of like, why are the NHS not funding it? Why are they not giving this girl like the surgery that she needs, sort of thing. So basically he explained to me, he went on this massive sort of search as to why the NHS doesn't, or why this, like our particular NHS trust does not do diastasis recti surgery. And he said that originally they did do it, but in order to save money, they use like, because when they do the diastasis recti surgery, they have to use a mesh to stick your sort of muscles together to close that gap, to make sure, because obviously you have no ligament there anymore, so they need something to hold your muscles back together. So they use like a mesh. And he said like in order to sort of save money, they were using this plastic sort of mesh that, and the way he explained it to me is like sometimes you see it on like fence posts, like if like there's a hole, like there's a gap, see if I can find a picture, but if there's like a gap in the fence or whatever, they use this plastic mesh to make sure that no one can get in or whatever. So he was saying like that's the sort of, they use that sort of plasticky mesh. And for a while it was fine, because they said, because they did it on young women, but then as these women got older, they started having really bad problems, to the point that they had like it was like the plastic was actually going through the muscle and then coming out of their skin. And when they would try and do the operation to try and remove it, it was so entangled in the muscle that it was almost impossible to remove, so it just made things even worse. So he said, so it was obviously costing the NHS a lot more money to have to then try and remove this, like do like really complicated surgery to try and remove this plastic mesh. So he says, so because they had these sort of issues, they stopped doing it. So he said, but to be fair, he said it would probably be better, because he said, I'm saying this to you, it's probably making you feel really scared about doing the operation. I was like, yeah, well, obviously hearing that just sounds horrible. But he said, but private, when you go private, it's just a completely different story to the NHS. He said, obviously, because they have the money, because you're paying for it. So with, even though private can be a lot of money, you get what you pay for. So he said, so you will get like top-notch care, you'll get top-notch, obviously, surgery, and obviously top-notch aftercare as well. So you will be really, really well looked after. So he was saying this to me, that like it's up to you obviously what you do. He said make sure you go with someone who's, don't know if you can hear that, like next door, just going like trying to knock the house down now, fuck's sake. Yes, so you can get the top-notch care, like obviously you have to pay for it, but you will get like much better care than you would on the NHS, because like you said, you get what you pay for. So he said, so obviously he said, just sleep on it, make sure it's definitely the thing that you want to do, because it is a big decision to make and it is a lot of money to have to sacrifice to pay for. And I did say to him, oh, I've actually been looking at surgeons and stuff like local to London, who was like, oh, okay, that's good. So he said, what I can do is I can write a form, like a letter out that actually describes everything about like your symptoms, like what you said to me and stuff. So you can take that with you to a surgeon to look at and stuff, so they know like what your situation is and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, that will be helpful. So I've got to go to the surgery on Tuesday, because he said that's when he'll be in, so he said, I'm going to write it now, he said, but then I'll print it out and I'll give it to the reception on Tuesday, so you can pick it up Tuesday afternoon. So he's doing that for me. And then he also said, he was like, so if you do decide to go with the surgery, he said, if ever they ask for you to have any test done, like a blood test or whatever, he said, make sure you ask if you can have it done at your local surgery rather than through them, because obviously if you can have it done on the NHS, you don't have to pay for it. If they do it, you have to pay for it. Yeah, so he said, because you're going to be paying a lot of money for the surgery anyway, you want to be able to save as much money as you can. So where you can, use the NHS. He said, seeing as they won't be able to help you with the surgery, use them where you can in terms of preparation for the surgery. So he says, so if they ask for blood tests, then make sure you ask if your local surgery can do it, so save you a bit of money. So he was really nice at like stuff like that. Like I could just tell he was really sort of sympathetic about it, but he did say like he went on this massive sort of like, he fell down this rabbit hole when he was looking at diastasis recti, like muscle repair and stuff, and he was like, and it makes you really paranoid about getting older and not looking after yourself, and he did say like it's made me want to get back his subscription that he had at his local gym to make sure that he never has like issues like that, because he said obviously it's something that can affect people as they get older. It doesn't necessarily mean sort of like you have to be pregnant or like morbidly obese to suffer from diastasis recti. It can happen to anyone, so that's why you really have to look after yourself. So he was such a nice guy. Like I couldn't like argue with him, because he was on my side. He was just like, his hands were tied, he couldn't do anything to help. So yeah, he said that's the best he can do for me. But he did say like, if they ever ask for any tests, make sure that you can try and get them through the surgery, because then it'll be the NHS paying for it rather than you like paying for it out of your pocket, so we can try and make the surgery as cheap as possible. So yeah, so there was that. And then it was yesterday I had a call from the private clinic. You know, when I said about the referral, and when I chased up the NHS orthopaedic surgeon for an appointment, they said I'd have to wait 10 weeks. And then I had a phone call to say, we're going to pass your referral on to a private orthopaedic surgeon to see if they can fit you in a lot earlier. They actually called me, that surgery actually called me yesterday to say about booking an appointment. And so I was really confused, because I was like, oh, I didn't think this would be happening because the NHS are refusing my funding, so therefore I don't really need an appointment. And I said also I don't need an appointment with an orthopaedic surgeon anymore, because like the NHS now know it's not an orthopaedic issue, it's I'm going to need a cosmetic surgeon. And the woman on the phone was like, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that they've refused your funding. She said, but what I will do is I will send your referral back saying that you don't need an orthopaedic surgeon, you need a cosmetic surgeon. She said, and you never know if it goes to someone, because she said it won't directly go back to my NHS trust, it will go back to just Essex in terms of like the general area that I'm in. So she said, so it might not go to the one that I'm actually based at. It might go to somewhere else who might be more likely to actually give me the funding. So she said, so don't like lose hope. She said there is still a chance that something might happen. She said, so I'll send the referral back into the ether, and we'll see what happens. But I'm not gonna hold my breath on it. I'm still gonna. So what I'm basically gonna do, like, after all that, after that big update, what I've decided to do, because I've posted on a few Facebook groups asking for recommendations for UK and also Italian cosmetic surgeons, but I do think I'm probably going to have it done in the UK rather than Italy, just in case there is something that goes wrong. But yeah, so what I've decided to do is I'm going to wait until I get the letter on Tuesday, and then I'm going to start asking around all the ones that have been recommended to me, so I can see if I can get like a quote on how much it's going to cost to have basically the muscle repair and a tummy tuck. The thing is, I can't have it booked in for a while yet, because I think I've probably said to you guys before about the fact that I can't, or like you shouldn't have a tummy tuck until you're at least 10 to 15 pounds within your ideal weight, because there's no point in you having a tummy tuck would get rid of like a load of loose skin if you're then going to lose a bunch of weight and technically have some loose skin anyway. So I'm at the point, like I said, I'm at £181 now, and I want to get down to at least £160, because I know realistically I can do that, because I did it like 2 years ago. Last year was complete foul in terms of weight loss. So, but this year I want to try and get down to £160. So I've got £21 to lose, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to still be sort of like asking around and stuff. So yeah, so while I'm getting that done, I'm going to try and make the week that I've just had the norm, in terms of just being as good as I can, no snacking or anything. Like weekends I'll try and be as good as possible. Like I still have my treats, because like that I do on a weekend, because I think it would, like, my mental health would suffer if I didn't, because that's just how I am. So yeah, I'll still have the weekend treats from our special cake lady, cookie pie lady. And yeah, but I'll just try and be I'll be as good as I possibly can during the week, and I'll try and keep as active as I can. So keep up with my running, get out for long walks if I can, drink all the water that I can, make my special dinners. I'm going to keep tracking as well, because I think that's really helped in terms of keeping everything in Fitness Pal, to just to keep on top of things. And I think, even though I know like the things that I'm eating, I am within my calorie sort of intake for the day. It just helps me mentally, I think, feel like I am achieving something. I can see it physically on a screen, so I think that helps. So that's why I'm going to try and keep that up, because I think when I don't do that, that's when I tend to fall by the wayside, and I become a bit lazy with it. So I'm going to try and keep that up. But yeah, so that's currently how things are. So now I do have a new goal in terms of, I don't have a goal post to aim for in terms of date. I don't have a deadline, but I do have a goal post in terms of, I know that's where I want to be at when I have the surgery. So I know I want to at least be at 160 pounds. If I get up to that and I can still lose weight like after that, then fine, I'll just keep going. But 160 pounds is the weight I want to be at before I go in for surgery. So how much can I lose? Like, how long can I lose 20 pounds in? That's the thing. I've lost 2 pounds this week, but I don't think that's going to be a consistent thing. So it will be, I mean, yeah, I could give myself a deadline of like 10 weeks, but I really don't see me losing 20 pounds in 10 weeks. I don't think it will be that good, but we'll see. We'll see how I get on. So wish me luck with all that. Anyway, I better get going, because I realise I've spoken for nearly 20 minutes for you guys. Yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been informative or interesting, and not just me rambling a load of crap. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like. That really helps me out. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can also follow me on social media, or the links will be down below. And on that note, I'll say love you guys, and I shall see you all in the next video. Bye.